Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am super excited about this morning's conversation. Listen, guys, welcome back to Effective Living. I'm Coach Ricardo Miller, and you know what I say. Every day is a new day to begin again. It's an opportunity to start again. So no matter how bad yesterday was, last week was, last month was, or even last year, the fact that you woke up this morning, you got to tell yourself, I've been given another day. Yeah. And so with the fact that you've been given another day, you got to tell yourself, I'm going to make the most out of it. Yep, I'm going to make the most out of it. So every day here on this platform, it is our goal to help you identify practical things you can do to take better control of your life. Okay? Days are expensive, people. Days are expensive. A day wasted is a day you'll never have again. And you got to get to the point where you start saying, you know what? I want to live life effectively. I want to add as much value as possible to humanity that in my lifetime, I would be able to say with confidence, I've showed up and I gave it my all. And hey, Heavenly Father, I hope you're delighted or in love with how I try to show up on a daily basis. Okay? So today, I have a man I highly respect. I've watched him for years. I've had the opportunity to sit at the table, sit in the rooms where he would speak, got his book. Let me tell you something. He is a leader of leaders. He is none other than David Robinson. Welcome to Effective Living, sir.
Thank you, Ricardo. It's great to be with you.
Listen, are you still in Chicago?
We've been in Chicago since 1979, so I'm still here.
1970. I was born in 75. Come on now. That's what's up.
All right.
Could you tell our viewing audience a little bit about Coach David Robinson, Pastor David Robinson, Dr. David Robinson? Tell our viewing audience a little bit about yourself, sir, before we start.
Well, I just turned 75 a few weeks ago. So
happy belated birthday.
Thank you. And I've spent 55 years now developing leaders, building teams, and finding solutions. That's basically what's defined my life. I've done it in the church world, giving leadership to churches, and I've done it in the marketplace. We've owned several businesses. The last one was an RV dealership. I had 37 employees. We did about $60 million in sales. And for the last 16 years, I've traveled up until last September. Yeah. I was traveling about 280 days a year. Spent 9-10 weeks overseas, the rest of the time in the U.S. Just helping leaders see their dream come true.
Wow. I mean, 75? You look great. Thank you, sir. I love this.
There's two phases in life.
Yeah.
You're young and you look good for your age. So.
Yeah.
So somebody asked me the other day, how's it feel to be 75? I said, I don't know. I've never been 75 before. So.
I love it. So, today I wanted to talk and really dive in this platform of effective living that I've been working on. July coming will make 2 years. I don't know if you're aware. I don't really do children's ministry as you would have known me as over the years. 24 years in children's ministry, and now this is 2 years since. July will make 2 years since I've been doing this effective living platform, and the platform is built around 5 foundational F: faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. I think if you want to live life to the fullest, I think it's important that you make sure you work all of those in your life at the right level that it's supposed to. Faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. Well, in the midst of it, a lot of people oftentimes say, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Well, if you don't have enough time for your children, it's going to cost you. If you don't have enough time for your health, it's going to cost you. If you don't have enough time to manage your bank account, the bank book, it's going to cost you. If you don't have enough time to spend with God, I don't have time to go to church or time to read my word. What's your view on time and how people use it?
Well, Ricardo, you've known me long enough to know that I don't pull any punches.
Yes, sir.
And if it's going through my head, you're going to hear it. I've studied this for years. Um, I've gone to time uh, management seminars, workshops,
Yeah.
and I've come to the conclusion that time management is really a myth.
Yeah.
What it's about is controlling your events and commitments and all of the things that create the demand on your time.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you'll never be able to steward your time. And so I tell people, if you don't uh, prioritize your life, and you have 5 great fundamentals for your platform, I admire you for that. And I would let your audience know that I've watched you develop through all of these years, and you don't have just a message to give, you've lived the message. And so, you know, I have people time, and they say, tell me 2 things that you remember from that seminar. And maybe 10% will something.
Yeah.
And I'll say, you're not trying to manage your time, because steward your time. So you don't spend time, you steward your time. And you do that by getting the right priorities, not answering the phone every time it rings.
Yeah.
You don't have to have an answer to every world problem, and all those things that go into it. So.
Yeah. You know, the role of discipline, though. There are some people who says, you know, oh man, you know, I try, and as you just mentioned, we don't really manage time. We manage ourselves within.
You just use the word try.
Yeah. We lost our feed just now, ladies and gentlemen. We lost our feed just now. David Robinson will be back. Internet challenges, guys. Internet challenges. We're joined with David Robinson here on Effective Living. We're talking about time management, and what the reality of it is that there are people who don't know, haven't accepted that, you know what, you want to learn how to dominate your day by managing your time well. Okay? You want to dominate your day by managing your time well. So here's what happens. As we were just talking about, I'm going to wait to see if we get Dr. David Robinson back on. You don't, listen to this, guys, you don't manage time. You manage yourself. Okay? You don't manage time, you manage yourself. Now, your goal is that you want to take care of your body, you want to manage your finances, you want to take care of your various responsibilities. And with that, what's going to happen is that you're going to find yourself aligning yourself with behaviors and practices that brings about a level of results. Because now you're managing yourself, guess what? You're able to so-called manage your time. So if you want to win and advance in 2021, you got to take control of time. Yeah. You've got to take control of your time. If it's not working for you, you got to tell yourself, you know what? What I'm doing up to this point is not working for me. What I need to do then is I need to examine what I'm doing. And so one of the things I've been trying to teach people is you need to track your time. Track your time. Look at what you're doing with the time that you've been given. Okay? You've been given today. The question is, do you have a to-do list to identify what it is you're doing with today? Do you have a plan for today to get the most out of today? Do you have a plan for this week to get the most out of this week? Most people say they don't have enough time because, here's the deal, it's because what they're doing is they're just showing up in a day And they don't realize that everything is trying to take from them. Everything is trying to take from you. Everything is trying to take from you. So what you've got to do is you've got to get to the point where you start to realize, I have to manage my seconds, my minutes, my hours. You're not going to get the most out of your day if you don't be intentional about what you do with your day. You have to be very, very intentional about what you do with your days. Every day when you show up, you tell yourself, listen, like the whole idea of, I believe that one of the things you need to do is you need to manage your time. You need to take care of your body. You need to manage your money. You need to take care of your body. You need to manage your time. Let me tell you something. When your money is funny, it affects every area of your life. When your body is aching, when your body's not doing well, it affects every area of your life. So you got to take care of your body. It's the only place you got to live. So now you're telling yourself, listen, but I don't have time to. What you mean you don't have time to take care of the vehicle? The vehicle that God is going to use to fulfill your assignment, you don't have time for that. Come on. You don't have time to take care of the vehicle that God has called you to use to fulfill your life's assignment. I love the fact that I was talking to David Robinson just now. He said 75. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love talking to gentlemen, the guys like that, because yes, they're a wealth of knowledge. They've lived long enough to be able to teach me some stuff. How do you make it to 75? Well, one, you got to become better stewards of your time. What are you doing with the days that you've been given? Let me ask you that question again. What are you doing with the days that you have been given up to this point? Do you have a plan for this week? Okay, right now we're on Wednesday. It's the 21st day of April. Some people haven't done anything this week, last week, last month. Oh my goodness. And you're saying that you want your best life? You're not going to get your best life if you're not using your second, your minutes, your hours correctly. You may need help. You may need help. You may have to get to the point where you realize, you know what, I cannot do this by myself. So what I need to do is I need to get Ricardo's book. I need to get the book. Let me tell you something. We talk about time management. We talk about how do I take control of my life. Get this book. Let it help you. Let it help you, beautiful people. You got to get to the point where you realize, no. I am not going to keep living going in circles. No. I am not going to keep living going in circles, because here's the deal. I have to realize if I keep doing the same thing, I'm going to keep getting the same results. So you have to become a good steward of the time that you have been giving. I'm going to go ahead and bring David Robinson back in, and we're going to dive into a little bit more. Don't go anywhere. Share, tag, and invite someone. Hey, we're talking time management, or we're talking good stewardship of our days with David Robinson here on Effective Living. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. I don't know what happened, but I'm here.
It is technology. Stuff happens. But
yes,
let's continue to talk about this stewardship that you mentioned, and that oftentimes people say, try, I'm trying. What were you about to say about that?
When you make try the goal, you will seldom accomplish the mission. I think it was Yoda in the Star Wars movie that said there is no try, there's do or not do. Yep. And so once you make the goal to try, I'm going to try to lose weight. And I tell you, you're not going to lose much. I'm going to try to do this, or I'm going to try to do that. No, make up your mind of what you know God wants you to do, and do it. I think it was Nike. Everybody knows. Just do it.
Just do it.
So people that work with me, they only use that word try about 2 or 3 times, and I'll check them on it. And after a while, those, no, I'm not going to try. I'm going to do it. Yep. So never make try the goal.
Never make try the goal. The determination. I almost want to say Pastor David Robinson, but the determination, the role of determination in the life of somebody who's trying to get the most out of life. I know you coach a lot of leaders, and a lot of them, their heart's desire is more, but their determination is not at the same level of their desire. What's going on there? What's your view on the level of determination in comparison to your desires?
I use the word passion a lot, which is the same as determination.
Yep.
They have other things that they want as much or possibly even more. And once you're confused, it's very hard to be aggressive.
Yep.
You have to be single-minded. Paul said, this one thing I do. He did a lot of things, but he had one goal in mind. He knew who he was. He knew what he was called to do, and he did it. And so when people are struggling, accomplishing things, it's because they have multiple things going on, and they have to make up their mind. Which do they want most?
What is it that I want most? You know, self-discovery obviously is connected to this. If this is where I'm going to go, you got to have that positive talk with oneself. I mean, over the years, how did you become so stable in your position as to what you currently believe? What made you who you are in relation to the philosophies and ideas that you picked up along the way? Where did you feel as though you got most of that from?
Do you have a couple weeks? What's the short answer here? I would have to say I've had some watershed moments in my life, and one was when I came home from the military, from Southeast Asia in 1966. I went to a youth camp over Labor Day weekend. And it was at that camp that I knelt down and I said, God, whatever you want me to do, I'm willing to do it. Wherever you want me to go, I'm willing to go. Yeah. And I meant it. And one of the places that he took me was to Bible college. And I was in Gospels class, and we studied Matthew, Luke, and John on our own. But Mark, we went word by word, verse by verse, and we got to Mark 10:45 in class one day. And that verse is, for even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. When Dr. Johns, the professor, read that, the Lord arrested me. And for the rest of that hour, God and I had a conversation. Yeah. And I heard the professor in the background come and gone, but I said, Lord, am I going to be held hostage? He said, yes, you're going to be held hostage either by the people and try to serve me, or you're going to be held hostage by me and serve the people. That's your choice. Yeah. And the second thing, when I said the word ransom, I said, what does that mean? And he said, I want you to buy back value out of people's lives, especially those who don't feel like they have much value. He said, that verse is going to define you for the rest of your life. So from age 20, now for 55 years, I've never had a question in my mind what my call in life was. Yep. And whether the call was, or the venue of that call, whether it was in the marketplace. I spent 40 years, they called me pastor. I really never pastored anyone. Shepherding's not my gifting, but I made sure they were pastor. And I gave leadership. Yep. And so it really helps to know, number one, what God has called you to do. And people often tell me, well, I don't know. I said, well, what do you love to do? Yep. What do you love to do? And because what you love to do was, that love was put in there. Yep. And so all you have to do is follow your heart, because where your heart is drawn. But to do that, You have to follow those 5 points that you so well put in the beginning of the show. You have to take care of yourself. And I feel sorry for a lot of people my age can't get out of bed in the morning and walk away because they've abused their body through the years and haven't taken care of it. So know what God has called you to do, and then take care of the vessel in which that call is going to be fulfilled.
Yeah. Wow. Take care of the vessel. I've
Yes.
been teaching that your body is the vehicle God uses to fulfill your assignment. A lot of people don't get that.
I call it temple maintenance. You have to take care of the temple.
Yeah.
You know, you feed it junk, then don't ask God for divine healing.
Wow.
I guess you can ask, but
Yep.
there's one thing better than divine healing, and that's divine health.
Come on. Yes.
And
Yes.
so I didn't always do that, Ricardo. I have to share honestly.
Yep.
I did 40, 50 pounds for 30, 40 years until God said, if you want to finish what I have you to do, you better make a life change. And so I did.
Yep.
And I learned to fall in love with rabbit food. And take care of it. So
let me ask you this: over the years, you've with leaders, what are some of the common mistakes you see leaders make when it comes to managing themselves within their day, or what some would call time management?
They get their priorities confused. I think it was Stephen Covey that came up with that quadrant, urgent, not urgent, important, not important.
Yep.
And so when you fall into that trap where you start responding and reacting to what's on the radar, you are no longer leading.
Wow.
You are now reacting.
Yep.
And there are times of crisis. There are times of unanticipated things that come up. But even when that happens, you should already have a plan in your mind of what you're going to do if routine is broken up. So one of the greatest mistakes that I see, especially in young, inexperienced, or immature leaders, is they don't know how to manage the radar. If you're a leader, you should spend 80% of your time looking through the telescope and 20% of your time looking through the microscope.
Wow.
Managers, on the other hand, spend 80% of their time looking through the microscope and then take a peek with the leader in the telescope every once in a while. So leaders determine what gets on the radar. Managers react to what the leader has put on the radar.
Yeah.
If you don't get it figured out that either you're a leader or a manager. Now, we need both.
Yeah.
But if you're a manager, be a good one.
Yeah.
If you're a leader, be an outstanding one.
Yeah. Let's talk to the guys who may have been labeled a leader, given the title of leadership, but in all honesty, they've always functioned as a manager and don't know that, you know what, I might have been promoted to the title of leader when it's really true, I'm a better manager and I should have stayed there. Can you be promoted out of your calling?
Yes, it's I don't know who penned that years ago, called the Peter Principle. You promoted beyond your capabilities. But I say, no, you were promoted out of your gifting.
Yep. Yep.
And so, in the marketplace, we call them entrepreneurs.
Yep.
They're the ones that create the future, or
yep.
there is no future. And then they hire a great team of managers who know how to make that bottom line every day. And you have to have both. We've done a disservice by elevating leaders over managers.
Yeah.
And I've trained all three of my kids how, number one, don't work for a manager any longer than you absolutely have to. Find a leader to follow, and it will create a totally different experience for you. And so we've done a disservice by discrediting managers. No, they are a vital part. Leaders without a team of managers is just a failure in the making.
Yeah.
And so figure it out. And it's usually tied to your gifting.
Mm. It's usually tied to your gifting. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're joined with David Robinson coming out of Chicago. Yeah. And we got a little cold spike that hit us here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I don't know. Chicago knows about some real cold. David Robinson and his wife has been there from the 70s. I was born in the 70s, and they were there. How's the weather there in Chicago today?
The sun is out, but it's 29 degrees. So we have a 2-day we have a 2-day cold snap.
Yeah.
I covered the plants last night, and
Yeah.
I won't uncover them until Thursday. So
Wow. Wow.
But,
Let's dive into a couple more questions.
With winter.
Go ahead.
One thing about getting up to where I am in age.
Yes, sir.
No, go ahead.
All right. Your internet was breaking up. You says getting up to the point of your age. Can you say that again? What were you saying?
Yes, I don't have to go out every day in the winter. I can stay in and do my coaching through technology, and it's wonderful.
I love that. I love that. Let me ask you this. What are some of the tools you've noticed that people are using to become better managers, be better leaders, to get more out of their days? What have you suggested, advised people to embrace to take better control of their lives? Is there a few things you would highlight during this interview?
Can I share the 7 things that have helped me in my leadership journey?
Please, feel free.
I'll just run through them. Number 1 is plan and prioritize every day's activities the night before. Don't get out of bed in the morning and figure out what is number 1. And so I only do number 1s. I never do number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Now, I have maybe 10 things that are on that list. But once I do number 1, number 2 now becomes number 1. I've watched leaders through the years. If they do number 1 and they do 2 and 3, then their energy level starts to drop, and they may or may not get to number 7 or 8. And so I say, never do anything but number 1s. And regardless of what time of day it is, if you're at number 8, make it number 1. Number 2, overcome procrastination easily and quickly. If you have to eat a piece of chocolate cake or a frog, which one are you going to eat first? I say, eat the frog. Get it out of the way. Great leaders don't cover up poor time management by switching one pile of papers from one side of the desk to the other. No, they do not procrastinate. Number 3, anticipate and handle crisis effectively and timely. Don't avoid the ugly. When it comes, if you're a great leader, you will have already planned what you're going to do. The contingencies are just as important as the actuality. Number 4, maintain an organized workplace and better workflow. When I walk into a person's workplace, I can usually tell they're either going to win or they're going to lose. And I've heard all the excuses. Well, my workplace is messy, but I haven't organized mine. I said, no, you don't. You just think you do. So no, things that can distract you in your workplace will distract you. So eliminate them. And stay focused. Number 5, learn the difference between delegating and deferring. When you delegate something, you still own responsibility for the final results. When you defer something, you no longer have any responsibility. Now, there are times that you need to do both, and you need to learn what to delegate and what not to delegate. Number 6, use rituals and routines. If you can get 80% of your life on autopilot, then you can focus on that 20% that's going to vary from day to day. But don't have to make up your entire leadership structure every day of the week. And the last one, plan meetings more appropriately and effectively. One book that I encourage all those that I work with to read is Stop the Meeting, I Want to Get Off.
Wow.
And one of the greatest wastes of time that organizations can have are meetings that aren't needed, meetings that people come, they're not prepared for. If you have more than 5 people in a meeting, you're going to have a difficult time making a decision. So I don't meet with any more than 5 people at a time, regardless of what the issue is. I meet with the right people rather than everyone. So those are 7 things that I've used to help me and help those that God has called me to.
Wow. Wow. That is so good. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that with us. And we have people typing that into the chat area because that is so rich. I'm going to go back and write out those 7 because I think, wow, that is so good. Over the years, you've had the privilege of seeing people step up to the occasion and they start off excited, and they take off with a speed and fizzle off after a while. I found that a lot of people don't have a long run in them. They don't have endurance, or they've not shown themselves to consistently show up over a long period of time. What's your view on that? And that there is these starters and stoppers. They're not as engaged to consistently show up as necessary.
Boy, that's a broad question, and there's a lot of contingencies depending on who that person is. But Ricardo, probably more than anything else, their goals are not broad enough, and they're not going to stretch you on a daily basis. They get bored. If they don't get the rabbit today, they might try for a half a day tomorrow, but I'll try to find another rabbit. See, no, you were chasing the wrong rabbit to begin with. Yeah. When you want something bad enough, you're going to go for it. I can remember my wife and I will be married 53 years in June. And you've met my wife, and of course I'm prejudiced, but I believe she's the most beautiful girl in the world. And when she was in high school, she was extremely popular. She was the number 1 dancer in a high school of 3,000 students. She was on American Bandstand 2 or 3 times. And when I met her, I had to wade through a lot of guys just to get the first interview. But I made up my mind. She's a girl for me. Well, I coming out of high school, I was 1A. Vietnam was really starting to heat up, and I got drafted. I joined before I got drafted, and so she had 2 proposals of marriage while I was overseas defending our country. And when I got home, I told all the guys, I said, listen, you had your chance. None of you could close the deal. Now she's all mine. She heard me say that somewhere, and she said, well, I think I have something to say about that. I said, well, yeah, you. But I'm a very patient man. But once I put my mind and my heart on a target, see, people that give up, they don't want it bad enough.
Wow. And
I tell followers, don't follow a leader like that. Leaders are not perfect people, but follow a leader that knows what they want. surrounds themselves with a great team of people who want it just as bad. See, if you don't create a compelling vision, why would I want to follow you to begin with? And if I'm not important to you as a team member in getting that vision accomplished, then either I missed you or you missed me. And but without a great team, and then the last thing you need, in addition to a compelling vision and a team of competent players, you need a strategy that everyone buys into. And so, hey, so you hit a brick wall. Somebody find a ladder and let's get over the wall.
Yep.
People who start and stop are people who are not fully committed. They don't want it bad enough.
People who start and stop, they're not fully committed. They don't want it bad
enough.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing it. You're hearing it right here.
I married that young lady because I wanted her more than anyone else.
Hey, you closed the deal.
I closed the deal.
I love it, man. I love you guys. You're amazing. It's always been a blessing. And she's had a passion for children over the years.
Yes, she's been a professional ventriloquist for 45 years now. So,
yep.
She's my opposite.
Yeah, she's your opposite. Let's before we close our talk out this morning, sir, let's talk about affiliation and association and environment when it comes to the people we put ourselves around, when it comes to trying to get the most out of your day, trying to maximize your life. How important is environment? How important is association?
You use affiliation and association. In my mind, affiliation means you're on a list with somebody. Association means you're in close contact with them.
Yeah.
And so how you determine who you associate with comes first through affiliation. Yeah. I say meet everyone that you can, and make friends. You can't be intimate with a lot of people, but you can be friends with a lot of people. I hear young leaders all the time, well, it's all about who you know. It's all about who you know. I said, once you figure that out, because who you know gets you in heaven and everywhere else you need to be. Someone once said, you're only 7 introductions away from anyone in the world. So find out who you need to be with. Find out who you need to meet and start a relationship with. See, it all gets back to what has God called you to do, what He gifted you to do, and then fill in the blanks from then on out.
Yeah. Wow.
So, associate with a lot of people, intimate with a few, and you'll make it.
Wow. Sir, could you give us a closing challenge? There are people who are watching us today who they want to be a leader. They want to be exceptional. They want to be a manager or be exceptional at being a manager. They just want to get the most out of the life that they've been given. The people who show up here knows this platform is all about improvement. It's all about getting better. And so your closing challenge, closing message, closing thoughts to our viewers would be?
As you know, I post every Sunday and Monday on Facebook, and then I have a private email list that if people want to join that, they can. But here's something that I pulled up last night that I wrote a number of years ago. It's just 3 paragraphs. Yeah. If I can share that with you and your audience.
Do. Yes.
Victor Hugo said, "He who every morning plans the transactions of the day and follows out that plan carries a thread that will guide him through the maze of the most busy life. But where the disposal of time is surrendered merely to the chance of incidents, chaos will soon reign. Time management is a myth. Workshops and seminars offering the silver bullet solution are not worth their cost if it is only about managing time. If you do not learn to limit and control the time and events and commitments that create the demand on your time, all your attempts to better steward your time will fail. Personal management skills are essential for all leaders, regardless of where you give leadership. Leaders who implement successful workplace management strategies control their workload with greater success, including investing their time more productively. Leaders, no matter how educated, talented, and passionate, never succeed if they spend their days in a frenzy of activity, reacting to crisis or things that are urgent but seldom important. Leaders with the ability to manage themselves and proactive in managing their workload see stress decline, productivity soar, and have greater impact on the organization they serve. And so,
Wow.
as you know, one of my loves in life is writing, and I enjoy doing that. But most of all, I enjoy helping people buy back the value out of their life.
Wow. And that's what it's all about. It's about value. Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, David Robinson. Listen, guys, if you are not following him on social media, you need to connect with him. His social media space is loaded with great content, especially for those of you that desire to be in front, be it a manager, be it a leader. You want to add value to humanity. This stuff will help you for sure. Could you give our viewing audience again how they can get a hold of you?
Guys seldom do this, but I'm going to give you two things. I'm going to give you my phone number. It is 847-417-8234. That's 847-417-8234. The best way to communicate with me is through texting. And you just send me a text, tell you how we connected, and I will get back with you within 24 hours. And the other way is my email address is C4M, C4M coach @gmail.com.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Sir, I appreciate you spending this time with us this morning. Such great information. You've always just blessed my life in so many ways. I remember the last time when we had the chance to sit down with my senior pastor, Pastor Danny Wegman, when you were here in Dallas, and you were just blessing us. I mean, the content just kept loading, just kept going. I said, one day I'm going to interview David Robinson on my platform. And so to have you this morning joining us, it's been a delight. Thank you so much for giving us this time this morning.
Ricardo, it's always great to be with you. I've admired you as a young man for all these years, and I bless you and your audience. You'll never go wrong by having Ricardo Miller in your life.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Hey, guys, go
God
forward.
bless you too.
Yes. Have a great day, everyone.